By early 1944, the Red Army held a clear numerical advantage in armored vehicles. However, combat experience against German heavy tanks, such as the Tiger I and Panther, showed that Soviet medium tanks were not always effective at long engagement ranges. As a result, Soviet command concluded that breaking fortified German defensive lines required a new heavy tank with heavier armor and a more powerful gun. The solution was the IS-2 heavy tank, officially adopted in early 1944. It was armed with the 122mm D-25T gun, approximately 4.8 inches, capable of destroying German heavy tanks, and reinforced concrete fortifications. The frontal hull armor reached about 4.7 inches, while turret armor was up to 4 inches thick. The first production IS-2 tanks arrived at the front in February 1944. They were formed into separate Guards heavy tank regiments, intended to reinforce breakthrough formations. One of the first combat zones where IS-2 tanks were used was the Eastern Front in Romania, near the town of Targu Frumos. In April-May 1944, the Red Army attempted to break through German-Romanian defenses and advance toward the Ploiești oil fields, a critical strategic objective. The Soviet offensive was carried out by elements of the 2nd Tank Army, supported by units of the 27th Army. Heavy tank regiments equipped with the new IS-2s were assigned to the main attack groups. They faced units of the German 8th Army, including the elite Grossdeutschland Panzergrenadier Division, reinforced with Panther and Tiger the Hun tanks. The terrain around Targu Frumos consisted of open rolling farmland, broken by ridgelines and ravines. While suitable for armored maneuver, it also gave the defenders strong positions for anti-tank fire. Spring rains turned the ground muddy, significantly reducing the mobility of heavy vehicles. The first encounters between IS-2 tanks and German armor occurred in late April 1944. During probing attacks, German units encountered destroyed Soviet vehicles, including previously unknown heavy tanks, armed with a long, high-powered gun. German crews quickly realized they were facing a new Soviet heavy tank design. In early May, the Red Army launched a larger offensive. IS-2 tanks advanced in the front line, supporting infantry and suppressing German strongpoints. Their main role was to destroy fortified positions, anti-tank guns, and enemy armor blocking infantry progress. During one engagement, IS-2 tanks clashed directly with Tiger I units. At ranges of up to about 0.9 miles, 1,500 meters, the 122mm shells posed a serious threat to German heavy tanks. Even when the armor was not fully penetrated, the sheer impact often caused internal damage, disabling the vehicle. However, the IS-2 also had major drawbacks. The D-25T gun had a low rate of fire, only 2 to 3 rounds per minute. Ammunition capacity was limited to around 28 rounds, restricting sustained combat capability. In fast-moving armored engagements, this significantly reduced effectiveness. German tank crews exploited their higher rate of fire and attempted to engage IS-2 tanks from the flanks. Panthers and Tigers opened fire from long range, aiming at known weak spots. Despite its heavy armor, the IS-2 was not invulnerable. During the fighting near Targu Frumos, several IS-2 tanks were knocked out by German 88mm guns, about 3.5 inches, and Tiger tanks. German reports noted that destroying an IS-2 required accurate fire and favorable positioning, particularly when attempting frontal engagements. After several days of combat, both sides suffered losses. IS-2 tanks proved highly effective in breaking fortified positions, but were less suited to mobile tank battles against a well-prepared defensive system. German forces managed to stabilize the front and prevent a breakthrough toward the oil fields. The battles near Targu IS-2. Soviet command concluded that heavy tanks required close coordination with infantry, artillery, and engineers. The IS-2 was intended primarily as a breakthrough and support tank, not a dedicated tank duelist. In later operations during 1944 to 1945, IS-2 tanks were widely used in assaults on fortified lines, cities, and strong defensive positions. Combat experience showed that when used correctly, the IS-2 was a powerful battlefield tool capable of missions beyond the reach of lighter armored vehicles.